Welcome back, fans and friends, for this upcoming video. It's actually the second half of you can see there in the top left, it's not just the regular Torino, but it's a GT 429 SCJ. And for this video, I will also have a Gran Torino, so a Ford Torino Gran and then Sport 1974. As you guys know, the usual Greenlight stuff, gel muscle with the revving, engine speedometer, the Series 26 in French as well, limited edition. So you guys know that the last Greenlight I didn't have the limited edition, but it had the sticker. You have the 14 Plus 164 contains one diecast vehicle, and just to go over, there's no rear mirrors, but you can see clearly everything else: the door handles, the chrome bumpers, the wheels. See, you can see there the M2. We're gonna trail off the wheels for no reason. The letters on the wheels, but the rims themselves look to be done okay. I see a little bit of a bumper droop there. That left light doesn't look like it's straight where it's supposed to be. Gel muscle on the side, gel muscle on the side again. Everything in the rear looks okay. And the window is not quite as panoramic right across as the twin over there it is. And I do not see the printed limited edition number, but we won't know until I get it out. That's the way this works. It does look a little bit wider, so the Sport model would have been, I think, their highest or their second highest trim. 1974, as you guys know, the 1973 oil crisis forced them to do away with leaded gasoline and a few other things. So the power did drop, and a few other changes were made to lighten the cars to make them easier to produce. So there's a few things here I'd like and I don't like. Obviously, unfortunately, this Torino is hard to look at with the wheels being improperly painted. So I did the Cadillac DeVille a while ago, and the front of this looks a lot like that. So I do see the Camaros. They went from that type of front to this type of front. But anyway, that's not important right now. The bumper's loose, so I will have to fix that later. The light there you can see is not. It's a punched in piece of plastic. It is not loose, but it is not done properly. But the engine with the blue trim on the inside is very, not the engine, the cabin. Very easy to see, nice and clear. I don't see any wipers. Maybe when I lift up the hood, they sort of miss the mark. You can see there, nice and shiny. The blue pearlescent. I do see damage here, which is kind of a letdown. You can see, guys, there are a bunch of scratches. That is not happy, but anyway. And there, here you have the 5 mile an hour impact bumpers. They had to add these as well. I think that's the spot for the front license plate. So this car is usable in all of North America. Moving on to the left side, you can see Torino right there. You can see, Gran Torino is right there. And then let me just check what's on the side there. It says Gran Torino there and Sport with a little red emblem there. These are BF Goodrich tires, so I don't remember seeing BF Goodrich on the list of sponsors, but we will check again. And there you can see at the bottom, underneath 24521, the production number. BF Goodrich indeed is there, with Goodyear to its right. Above it is its serial number. You have Chrysler licensed product, GM official licensed product, Ford official licensed product, and just so you guys don't forget, you have Dodge official licensed product, which is a Chrysler product, which is an FCA product. And you can see finally they've started to put the FCA there. And now it's Stellantis, so all these products are obsolete with the labeling. So, sorry about that little interlude. And you can clearly see there on the top, the plastic is not entirely punched in. So the top, which would be under the silver bar, is showing. So there's a couple of problems with this Greenlight, including the scratch. So you see Ford there in nice and big letters. The punches, so you can see there's a bit of it's on an angle, but otherwise it's mostly flat. It's hard to tell. That light done really nice. You have, I think, the Gran Torino emblem on the back there. 5 mile an hour bumper, license plate, once again nothing on it, which is kind of a letdown. M2 and Greenlight will put some things on the licenses and some things not on the licenses. So to the other side, almost exactly the same. I believe that other Torino, I don't see the gas cap on this one. So I guess it just magically fills itself. Maybe it's this. I could be wrong. But we'll go to the underside of the vehicle and that'll tell us, because sometimes the Ford Shelbys or the Shelby Mustangs will have the gas cap in the back. You slide aside the emblem and it just goes right in there. So they're normal stainless steel silver type base. It's a 2017 re-released, made in China. And it says 1974 there, Gran Torino. You guys can barely read it, all rights reserved. So it is done very, it looked like it's worn out. You have GL 185 right there. And here, they've printed the limited edition number, 2657. They didn't print it in black. So why I'm going to bring that up, I have the Dodge Challenger I did recently. But look what they did at the top, which is punched in, and the bottom letters, which is printed in. The black works better than the white. So just saying that up. I just want to contrast the transfer case here with the Mustang, where it's right in the middle. Sorry, or near the middle, a little bit farther up. But anyway, this is not a Dodge Challenger video. As much as I love the Challenger, it has to wait its turn. So, other than that, you have the usual Greenlight detail. It's stamped in. There's the front punch. There's the gas tank. So I do think the gas tank might be that, but because I don't see anywhere else. Remember this Torino? It's right at the back. Oh, I don't remember where it is. So I guess the both Torinos, they have the gas cap at the back, but I don't think that this Torino has it. It might just be missing. I will lay off the gas cap talk because so the hood on this car is very difficult to open because you see it's form fitted, which means it's done properly, but it surrounds the car with metal, whereas this one, you'll see that the hood has an overhang. You can just literally slip your finger in under there and push up. So what I mean by that is, once again, I apologize for people who like the Torino but not the Challenger, or I don't apologize for the people who like the Challenger and not the Torino. You can just put your finger like this and move it up because it's a lip overhang, rather than I'll leave you there then. I keep bringing it back, so I'll just leave it there. And then here you guys go, the opposite of that Challenger, where they've put the silver on the blue on the black. I also moved my lighting a bit so it's easier to see. You guys can see also the wrong angle of the right light over the left light, but I do like it how they are punched in. So you trade one evil for another. Nice engine detail. Other than that, hood opens, hood stays. Looking at you, Dodge Challenger. But other than that, you can see there, I'm pretty sure this is the SCJ we've seen in the Mercury. Just a second. Alright, so I brought for you guys the Torino here and the very similar but not exactly the same looking Mercury 429 SCJ. So if this is the 429, which it might not be, I'm not saying it is, it does look very different. So it's probably not that. It looks similar though. There are some things that are the same. I happen to actually like this engine a lot, as you guys know, but this one is not that bad. So you do guys get a bunch of mistakes. Well, I got a bunch of mistakes. You can see there, they didn't struggle with the windshield or dash. They didn't struggle with the windshield. But here, you guys can see there, the flat lip. They've struggled with the windshield. So what it does is a one piece that goes in there, and then they just punch the bottom in. It has not been done properly. So that's kind of a disappointment. You have the paint chips right there. I can maybe find color match it and try to paint it over. It's a template for what they could have done with the DeVille opening hood, because this one, the hood will open, but you see what happened here? It's very hard. I used a Victorinox, the plastic toothpick to open it, but when it's open, it does stay open. So, and the blue trim really doesn't work for me because you paint the steering wheel the same as the seats, which is blue. The floor plate is blue as well. It's kind of weird, But like I said, with the DeVille, the whole thing was green. So this is essentially that sort of mentality. So I will cut this video off nearly, just do the roll test. The last few green lights, actually, they want to roll. So like I said, this Challenger wants to roll. This wants to roll. This is an earlier one. It wants to roll as well. So in terms of that, they seem to have gotten that part of their act together. I like how this is done. I wanted to compare it visually, not with just the M2, but you can see the changes they made. Going from the style 1970 to 1974, they made it that sort of. AMC also does a car that looks a lot like this, the Matador of the same period, 1974. But you can clearly see the design changes. Camaro goes through this. The other one that I was doing, it also goes from this flat front one piece to this multi, and then you also add the bumpers. So I don't know if these cars are the same length, but they look near the same length. The 1974 might be a little bit longer. The only thing I do miss from these, and the panoramic window in the rear, you can see very different. Guess cost cutting. Dashboard is actually less simple on the newer one, but you can see what happens when they make a mistake and when they don't make a mistake. But this one has an opening hood, so for the same money, I don't know which one to tell you guys. They're both nice and shiny, so I can't fault them for that. So guys, just to bring this video to an end, 1974 Gran Torino, that's the regular Torino, 1970. This is 1974. You have an opening hood. A couple of issues here, but if you guys look into the package, so if you don't order it, and that's one of the reasons I tried to avoid ordering. If I really want it, I'll order it. There's nothing going around it. But this is the only one they had on the shelf, so this is the one I ended up with. I could not, through the plastic, see this, so let me just show you guys, because it is exceedingly difficult. You can sort of, but with the reflection on the plastic, it might be hard, especially inside the package. But anyway, I will bring this video to a halt just to do a slight comparison between the two Torinos here, Greenlight and M2. This one's $9, that one's $9, so you just get the opening hood, hopefully less defects. But I mean, I've done the M2s for you guys before. The last thing I'm just going to say is the wheels on this side. You see how they're painted properly? Just a little bit there, and then for whatever reason they're not painted properly on this side at all, so they don't like the left side of cars. But other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and girls, this is Tumnus from Toronto, and till the next one.